Hello and welcome to the 6th episode of the Cuba and Focus podcast. Since there's still no UK competitions at the moment because lockdown has been extended in the UK, I'm going to continue with this interview style podcast for the next few weeks at least until we get competitions back. So last week we had Felix Zemdegs, and I also hosted a $25 gift card giveaway to thecubicle.com. I got like 30 something entrants, and I randomly picked one of those, and the winner is Jason Alonso. Well, that's what it says in his email. I have emailed you, so check your spam if you haven't, because it could be in there because it seems like a very dodgy email. Right, so in this episode we've got Patrick Ponce.
Hey.
So Patrick Ponce, he's been cubing for 8 years, and his most notable achievements are his former 3x3 single world record of 4.69, and he's the current US national champion.
Thanks for the introduction.
So let's just go back to 2012 when you first started cubing. So what got you into that?
Right. So I want to say 6 months before I actually learned how to solve in the whole thing, I bought a cube at like just some auction, like not an auction, like a yard sale or something, and someone had a cube, and I was really interested.
Yeah.
And I was really scared about scrambling it, and then when I like go to sleep or something, the next day the cube's completely scrambled. Like one of my siblings just completely messed it up. And I was like, wow, all right, now I guess I have to learn how to solve this. But then I just did it. And then Christmas came around, and I had these cousins come over, and one of them knew how to do it. And that was like mind blowing. So,
yeah.
A few weeks after that, I knew how to solve it, and I was just hooked ever since.
Pretty cool. So how long was it between when you first learned how to solve it and your first competition?
So I started in February and then September, so about 7 months. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like I was very quick to competing. I learned how to solve it at June 2014, and I competed in October, so it was only a few months for me. What were you averaging by the time you competed?
My first competition I was sub 30.
Okay, yeah, I was the same.
I like I said, I was hooked. So just like going on the internet. I was also like, when I learned how to solve, I was 9, and then I turned 10.
Yeah.
So I was like 10 years old. Like it was the greatest thing. Like I actually like already knew full CFOP by my first comp, despite being really slow.
Yeah, I was still using like the corners and then edges separately for F2L. And my first competition, I used that until I averaged like 25.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, what was your 3x3 main at your first competition?
It was a Zanchi. Yeah, it was a Diane Zanchi.
Interesting.
But the funny thing is that before that competition, I'd been using a Rubik's brand, just a modified Rubik's brand, for like ever. And then at that competition, they were vending, and I bought a Zanchi, and like 5 minutes later, I went up and competed with it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a Zanchi compared to Rubik's brand,
Yeah.
It's a tad bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, obviously, your main event at the moment is 3x3. What other events have you mained over your cubing career? Has it always been 3x3?
When I first really started getting fast, or just better, I really liked 4x4, and I thought 4x4 was going to be it, and I was going to beat Sebastian Weyer, and it would be that whole thing. But didn't really turn out that way.
Yeah.
4x4 was like the first event I podiumed in, so that's why I was really interested in it. Yeah. And then 3x3 kind of just took over. I really only competed in 3x3 and 4x4 competitively for like 2 years, and then I got into like one-handed, picked up a little 5x5 here and there. Yeah. But right now I do those 4 events: 3x3, 4x4, OH, and 5x5.
Yeah.
And that's just on top what I focus on.
Yeah, fair enough. So, how long was it between your first competition and when you got your first podium?
Um, it was December of 2013, so a year and about 3 months.
Okay, yeah, I think that's similar to me. I think I was about a year.
Yeah, I mean, it was, it was pretty lucky, I want to say. Like it
Was it
was
in 3x? Oh no, you said it was 4x4, didn't you?
yeah, it was 4x4, but it was in December, and there was a huge snowstorm the day before the competition. Because of that, like I think Roe Hessler and like some other fast people didn't go, and that's why I was able to get a podium. But
Yeah, that's pretty handy.
such is life, and that really motivated me. So imagine if it weren't a snowstorm or something like that, maybe I just got demotivated and stopped skiing or something.
Thank you for the snowstorm, man.
Yes.
So,
So,
you're
yeah.
obviously well known in the Cuban community, and I think one of the main things people know you for is the guy who, after he was extremely fast at 3x3, decided to make the switch to color neutral. So,
Yeah.
what made you decide to do the switch?
Yeah. So the switch was because of Worlds 2017.
Yeah.
I was really not impressed with my 3x3 performance. And, before I would care about try to pick apart my solves, try to like see if my F2L thing was like okay or anything like that. But then I just realized, like the really fast people, at the time, Max Felix, actually that hasn't really changed much, has it? But yeah, like the really top leaders, the really highest echelon, they're all color neutral. And I also
Yeah.
saw that from Hyuk Nam and his success.
Yeah.
So I just realized what I had to do and went along with it.
So, were you white only before you? Oh no, you were green blue, right?
Yeah, I was green blue.
Green blue. Okay. So, how long do you think it took you to get from back to your average after you switched?
It took me 3 weeks after.
3 weeks. Jeez.
Yeah.
Were you just
Yeah.
completely grinding souls that entire time?
Yeah, I had my goal in mind and I didn't stop until I got it.
Fair enough.
The
That is
week after
impressive.
Worlds, yeah, the week after Worlds is what I call Hell Week, which is like a US Army term. But like entire week, I did 8 hours a day of this
Jeez.
great color neutral practice, and
That's
that's
dedication.
like that's what I'm known for, just like brute forcing it.
Yeah.
And then if you look at the timetable, so I had a mid-July, so I had about a month and a half. I didn't go to any competitions in August. And then the first week of September, I went to my first competition after switching to color neutral, and that was the competition that I got the world record single. So
Oh wow. What color was the world record on?
yellow,
Oh
if I
okay.
remember correctly. Yeah.
Wow. So
So
you wouldn't have got that
like
if you didn't switch.
it took me a month and a half, but I think it was around 3 weeks to fully transition, and 1 week, like if you consider like Hell Week to like the beginning, I had already done it, right?
Yeah. And you saw pretty immediate results as well. So obviously you got your world record single and PR average at that first competition back. And then your next competition, you got a 6.5 average as well.
Yeah, I
So,
mean it was like it could also be like chalked down to 2017 being a good year, but
yeah.
color neutral, especially now in later years, has just like shown to have definitely paid itself.
Well, apart from Worlds 2019, that is.
Oh
Whole
yeah,
podium being white only. Oh, yeah, only like one color, right? Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy. So, after you got back to your average with color neutral, how soon did you start to see like lots of improvement?
Um, I don't know. I like sometimes get. I don't really focus on long-term improvement,
Yeah.
so to speak. It's like I try to just like day by day just solve and maintain. maintain the skill. So like over long periods of time, you can see like the shift, the decrease in time. But me personally, I don't really see that. It just seems like a normal day, you know. And like I'm like a bit blind to the change. But I really remember looking at my, you know, the cubing China has this tool where it lets you see your year summarized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I really like that. That was like a really eye-opening moment to see the times that I had brought down and such.
Yeah. Cubing China has some really cool stuff with the stats they do.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I don't know. I'm trying to like slowly use their site more, but you know, I guess now with no competitions, I guess that won't be happening.
Yeah. So, since you've been pretty fast for a long time for 3x3, you've obviously had a lot of experience with competing in like major championship head-to-head finals. Like, what's that been like? How do you help cope with your nerves in those situations?
It's there is no one way to do it. I think of every single head-to-head final I've ever been in, I've done something different.
Yeah.
To whether it's, you know, take a really long pauses or take a really long time to warm up, have my hands down on the timer for a really long time, deep breaths, music, everything. But I think the biggest thing for nerves is like it's all in your mind. Like you have to get yourself into that state and just be in the flow.
Yeah.
There's no one way to like get in there, but I guess with time and, you know, like as you, like, it's gonna sound a bit cliche, but like as you go through life and experiences just help you convert that to achievement. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you won cubing USA champion nationals last year, like you'd been in what one other Nats finals or two, I'm not sure. And
Three.
So three other Nats finals and
Yeah.
two Worlds finals as well as warm up Sydney head-to-head finals. So you'd had a lot of experience. Because I feel like lots of cubers, the first time they get for a head-to-head final, they'll expect to compete, handle it normally, and then they just mess up. Like, I've definitely had my fair share of messing up head-to-head finals.
That's definitely happened to me as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty like inconsistent. I think that's just like what most people would agree on in terms of my results in high pressure situations.
Yeah.
But you know, luckily I've had, or I would like to say that I've had more good ones than bad ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, have you had lots of extra time recently to practice with lockdown and everything?
Oh yeah, a lot.
Is there anything specific you've been trying to work on, or just doing lots of solos?
Yeah, so I've really just started to learn more algorithms. I've been really lazy over the years to just like finishing
Same.
and everything. So now I'm trying to become a little bit more disciplined, get those Alex down, get them in my muscle memory and stuff. I've also been just doing a lot of, you know, side cubing work. Like I recently did an interview with Philip Lewicki on color neutrality and stuff like that. So I've been, you know, studying a bit of cube theory, like doing some solve analysis. I've actually been working a lot with coaching. I just started doing that about 2.5 weeks ago, and it's, you know, it's been a lot of like figuring things out, and it's been a lot of fun actually. So
yeah, that's cool. So
at a Cubicle Academy, sign up for my coaching service.
Yeah, I just saw that launched. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I think Jay's got some competition now.
Oh yeah,
it's definitely picked up a lot. Like
I think yeah. Like when I started cubing, this like something like that definitely didn't exist, and like everyone just learned on the internet and speed solving forums and Facebook groups. Like I think it's crazy that we've even gotten to this point, to be honest.
Yeah, like I didn't really use like I wasn't on the Facebook when I first started competing, so I didn't really know about all of the Facebook groups and stuff. So I did most of my like learning on my own. I mean, obviously I used YouTube, but I didn't have anybody. I didn't ask anybody. Oh, what should I practice now? I'm sub X Y. I'm stuck. What do I do? I just kind of figured it out. I guess that's
The exact same thing for me,
yeah.
actually.
I guess
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons why I didn't learn F2 well until I averaged like 25. Because after my first competition, people were like, "Oh, why don't you use F2 well?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I guess I should switch." So
I only made my Facebook profile like in 2015, so I'd already been cubing for 3.5 years. So
yeah,
like,
I feel like there's
yeah,
definitely
that would have been really useful.
yeah, I feel like there's definitely advantages and disadvantages to like working on your own because you kind of get to understand what you're doing more when you do it on your own. But like obviously there's stuff you don't know about and other people's tips can definitely help. So
Yeah,
you got to
definitely.
have a good balance because you go onto Facebook groups like what is it, 3x3 speed cubers and stuff like that, and there's just people averaging 20-30 seconds, just like, oh, what do I learn now? And it's like at that stage I was just figuring it out myself. I didn't really ask for tips until I was sub 10.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just depends on the cuber. I don't think I ever directly went to anyone and asked for anything. I kind of just found the resources and watched a lot of solves, whether it was walkthrough solves or solves of fast people. Just
Yeah,
try to incorporate everything and get the best balance for my own solving. But
yeah,
uh, but yeah, I think there's a big benefit to learning things on your own. You just get more of a
definitely, yeah,
mastery in the cube and stuff. But for certain things, like specific finger tricks, certain algorithms, you can't really figure that stuff out on your own. You need that community outreach,
definitely, yeah.
working with other people.
So since you've been like sub 10, let's say for 3x3, what things that you've learned or implemented into your solves has like helped you the most? Like you've seen significant decreases in time. Well, apart from color neutral, that is.
Uh, um, I think the biggest thing for me was ZBLL. I have to say,
Oh,
just or I guess before ZBLL comes COLL,
yeah,
because like I said, I already knew full CFOP for a really long time.
yeah,
And, you know, if I got like a bad PLO or whatever, my finger tricks were terrible, by the way. Like, because didn't have anyone to tell me that they were bad or anything. My videos weren't on the internet for many years. So, like,
yeah,
having COL, getting just a high rate of getting a nicer PLO really dropped down at times.
yeah,
And I guess as I got better, that also applied to when I learned ZBLL, because I'm just one of those cubers that I have a really, really fast, like I recognize OLO really quickly
yeah,
and then recognize PLO not so quickly. Like if you compare my PLO recognition to like Max Park or Philip Vire, it's just not to par. So
yeah,
I think ZBLO really helps me because I can recognize it way faster and execute it as such.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
which is also like a big motivation to finally wrapping it up.
how many cases do you know at the moment?
I know about 200 cases,
Oh,
and
jeez.
I'm trying
Is that
to
just like
just
everything apart from like soon and anti-soon, or?
no, soon in it. I think it's like 350 or something like that. But I'm really just trying to learn the UT and L sets right now.
Yeah, yeah. I've been
I,
trying
I
to.
I know a lot of them, but just completely finalizing all of them.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn a U recently, but I'm extremely slow at implementing algs. I
Oh
need,
yeah, me too.
yeah, I've been using best site ever. It's very good for learning and
Yeah,
implementing cases.
yeah. I've been using AlgDB and Anthony Brooks's PDF.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've just been using AlgaB and then just drilling them on best site ever. Yeah,
it's definitely like again with the resources. It's like this stuff did not exist when I started cubing.
Yeah.
I remember like I learned all my PLLs and OLLs from a site called CubeWiz, which is
was that Bob Burton? Yeah, that's where I learned all mine from as well.
Oh, we're quite similar, aren't we? But yeah, like ZVLL was like docs with like every single ZVLL algorithm. Like they existed, but they were like they were terrible. They were like the move optimal.
Yeah, there was like 2 people who knew full ZVLL. Yeah.
And like nobody thought it was viable at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I found that the thing that improved my times the most was implementing like cross plus 1 into like all of my solves. Like I've been able to do it occasionally for a while, but I mean I can do it probably 95% of the time now, and it definitely got me from like high 8 to low 8, sub 8.
So were you like one of those people that would take like a really short time to inspect and just start the solve?
Probably. Like, well, but especially when I in my first couple of years of competing, maybe not so much recently, but I've used 12 seconds of inspection most solves nowadays.
Oh wow, that's quite a lot.
Yeah. I definitely try and make the most of it now.
Longest time, like 4.5 years into cubing, I was one of those people that just picked up the cube. I only did 2 crosses, mind you. So
yeah, it's definitely quicker.
I just saw like the pattern and just started the solve immediately. And I had a 7 average and like 5.8 single, but
yeah,
it was actually Jabari Nuruddin who told me, hey, you should look for first pair, man. Like, stop doing that. You'll be so much faster.
Yeah. I've
definitely. He was like one of those cubing friends that I like really learned a lot from, and we like race each other all the time. So I took his word for it, changed it up a little bit.
Yeah. I definitely had a lot of people telling me to use more inspection, like back when I first started cubing in like 2015, 2016.
Yeah. I mean, it's useful information. Like, I think there's not a single cuber who hasn't like they solve the exact same way they did at 15 seconds and at how they do at 7 seconds. It's just not how it goes. And the improvements and change them, change your solving style.
Yeah, definitely. So I brought up the Red Bull competitions to Felix last week as well, but just wanted to hear your thoughts on the whole deal, since you competed in 2019 but not 2018, right?
Right. I think Red Bull is great. Like I have no other way to put it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for cubing as a whatever you want to call it, a sport or a very good hobby or something like that, or competitive hobby rather. I think WCA is really focused on community and expanding and trying to get as many people to learn about the cube and meet other people that do the same thing as they do. Whereas Red Bull is more concerned about the highest tier of cuber, like the fastest people and getting them all together at one event, streaming it so that people who don't know about cubing can see it and be more exposed to it. And if we really want to like push this community in terms of a competitive level to as high as it can, I think we really need to take opportunity with things like Red Bull.
Definitely. I think it's important that like Red Bull and WCA stay separate, because they're both like completely different styles of competing, but they're both like completely necessary as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea for them to be on good terms with each other.
Definitely,
and have discussions. But there's wonderful things and bad things about both of them.
Yeah.
But I think all in all, that what you just described, like the perfect sort of teamwork with both of them, would be just the best thing for cubing as
Yeah.
it currently stands. You know, like maybe there can be like the term professional speed cuber has been thrown around for many years, but I think now more than ever there are definitely people out there that can call themselves that, and it's thanks to these sort of big media appearances and stuff like that.
Yeah, Faz and I talked about when he like full on speed cubed for a couple of like a year or so. But it's really interesting how even him, the best speed cuber in the world, it's not his main job or his main career.
Right.
But like obviously it could be,
I mean,
but he's chosen that it's not his main career, but he's still the best at it.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also fair to realize that Felix is extremely talented as it's done. The guy improved like really quickly and like just had mastery of the cube within I would like a couple months of starting. So like the guy is phenomenal, and I think that carries in terms of not having to sort of practice as much as compared to some of the competition. And that's not to say that Felix doesn't practice a lot, because I know the guy can nerd out sometimes, but I think that's like a reason why, you know, someone like Felix wouldn't be too concerned with putting tons of effort into cubing. But he definitely has in the past.
Yeah. So when you first started competing, was there anybody you like idolized or wanted to be as good as or looked up to?
I pretty much looked up to everyone. Like I said, I was on the internet learning about everything. So exposure to cubing, like if you were a cuber, I just like idolize you in some way or another. I would find something about you that I really enjoyed. So like my first competition was in New Jersey, where I live, and the delegate was Bob Burton, and I used Bob Burton's website. So like just immediately there, like, oh my god, Bob Burton is like the best. And then I got super early to the competition, and he was the delegate, so he was walking in with all the timers and displays, and I was like, oh my god, that's Bob Burton, and I was like freaking out. And then at my first competition, there were some really big names. Actually, I was lucky enough to like just be living in an area that's really dense in cubing. So names like Andrew Ricci, Lucas Etter, Kevin Costello III, all those people were at my first competition. And to just see them and to see them being so damn good when I was like only cubing for 7 months, that definitely like attached me more to the community, for sure.
Yeah.
I liked everyone. I just like cubing. I don't know what it was, but it's just like the first time I solved the cube, it was something I couldn't stop thinking about.
I remember my first competition, Oliver Frost was at his peak for Big Blind, and I watched him get, I think it was a 5 blind world record, no, maybe 4 blind world record. I don't know, seeing a world record was just so crazy, and it made me fall in love with the hobby.
Yeah, I could only imagine how I would have felt if there was a world record at my first competition. I think it's like definitely moments that we feel when we're first exposed to the community that'll sort of affect how we go into cubing.
Yeah, definitely.
Later on.
It was super crazy. So the venue for my first competition, Cuthbert's Open 2014, it was literally just area, like probably, I don't know, 30 meters by 20 meters or whatever, just in the middle of a shopping center or mall, you'd call it.
Oh yeah, I'm familiar with the Cuthbert's venue.
Yeah, it's crazy. So he got like the Big Blind world records when there's literally like screaming kids and everything.
Wow.
It's quite handy though, because it means you don't have to stay quiet for blind.
Right. Well, I mean, Ollie Frost was a monster in his prime, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He actually posted a 26 free blind meter free today.
Really?
Yeah.
He's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. He must have got bored.
But yeah, I definitely remember seeing him when I was maybe like a year into cubing, and just like seeing him set world records on YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. He's a super nice guy as well.
I've never met him. Maybe I'll meet him.
So I asked this question to Faz as well, but I'm assuming your favorite record or personal record or whatever for in your cubing career is your 469.
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a great solve. I like it. You know, I did some nice first pair stuff, and I got a nice Brooks last layer case into an LL skip. But cubing sort of thing that I've done is my 9.50 one-handed average at World Championships.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was good to watch.
I had been tracing down sub like 10.5 for the last 6 months, and that was my first time doing it. So I dropped my personal record by 1 second.
That is crazy.
And I just missed out on getting the world record, and I really like that because so the first 2 solves were like 9 seconds, and then the third one was 7.
Yeah.
And then the fourth one was a 10. And so I knew I just needed a really decent last solve, and I'd get sub 10 average.
Yeah, what did you need? Like 10.5 to get sub 10?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I need, and just in the competitor waiting area, I was like shaking. I was talking to people, really borderline hyperventilating, super nervous. I couldn't emulate how bad that was.
Yeah.
But just for some reason, when I sat down and I don't know, like looked at my judge was AJ Nichols, by the way.
Oh yeah, shout out AJ.
Shout out AJ. I don't know, I just sat down, everything just clicked, and I got my best counting time on the last solve, 9.2.
Yeah.
And got the average, and I let out a big scream, and a lot of people got extras. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel like I had a similar experience when I got my 727 NR average. Like I got my first solve, I got a 6. It wasn't quite PR, and I got 6.5. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like, what? I've got a counting 6. What's going on? I got PR single as well. Then I get like a 7.6. So at this point, I've been like pushing and pushing for that sub 8 average, which I just haven't managed to get. And then I'm really nervous after that. I'm like shaking really bad, talking to people. I go up and get like a 10+2 or something. And my last solve, I go sit down, and I sat down next to James Malloy, and he's like, "Oh, how you doing?" I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it. I want to talk about Fortnite," because at that time we're like playing Fortnite quite a bit. And then I'm still kind of nervous. I get to my last solve, I sit down and I just boss out a 7.2, like no shakes whatsoever, just flawless turning. Still don't know how I did it. Just click.
It's a euphoric feeling. Like,
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, it's
congratulations,
nice.
man.
Cheers.
I told you like when you first got the average, but like sick average.
Yeah.
Stuff like that is so rare, especially like once you're sub 10, once you're sub 9, like
I
don't drop your PR.
That 1.1 I dropped my PR by. It's ridiculous.
And I got 1.01.
And then I dropped my single by 1.5 as well. You must have had quite a big drop when you got WR single, right? That must have been near a second.
It was, I think I was
0.7 about. Yeah, 537 you had.
I mean, I think I had a larger drop because my first sub 7 was a 5.
Oh jeez.
So something like that.
Yeah, you went 700 to 592.
108. Pretty good.
Yeah.
That was like a really similar situation where I'd just been chasing sub 7 and sub 8 average, and for some reason for those 5 solves I just did it.
Yeah, there's a UK cuber, Daniel Tidsey, who recently he got a 7 3x3 single in 2018, and he didn't get a single 7 in 2019. And then he competed a couple of months back and got his first 7 of like for like a year and a half, and then got a sub 8 average in the same average.
What?
So his PR average was like 7.8 and his single was like 7.4. It's ridiculous. He's got a 6 now, but yeah, he's really good at competing. So
who's this?
Daniel Tidsey. He mains blind events now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't quit on us.
Yeah, he's still only like 15, so he's got a good 10 years in him.
I was just saying, like in terms of like when people get into blind and get really good at blind, they tend to quit cubing.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. I think like maybe like Jack Kai and Jake Clausen are like 2 of the people who I've seen who are like have no signs of quitting, but just like there have been some really big names like Max Hilliard and like Ishan Agrawal. Like these people just don't practice anymore, and it's just like it really sucks. Like it seems like wasted potential, but then when you talk to these people, they're just completely content with what they've done and decided to stop.
Yeah, because you've got to be really dedicated with blind as well. Like, there's a lot of learning stuff, and I feel like it's very easy just to like not want to do it anymore. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, and you could get screwed over with like scrambles and situations where people are being loud, and like you can't control. There's so many things you can't control in blind that just make it like really like detrimental to your mental health sometimes.
Yeah.
At least I would think. Do you ever see yourself quitting like that in like such a way?
I don't know, like, so I was homeschooled for ages until recently. So when I first started cubing, it was like all I did. So between like mid 2014, late 2015, I like was cubing at probably 5 hours a day at least. And then I think loads of my other IRL friends got like PlayStations, so I got one as well. And that I definitely spent most of my time after that on my PlayStation instead of cubing. So I still competed between like in like 2016, 2017. But I wasn't really quite as serious until maybe early 2018. I went to New Zealand Nationals late 2017, and I had a great time there. That definitely got me back into it. I think I finished OLL or something apart from the dots, screwed dot cases. And then I didn't have another competition for a few months, and I decided I was going to use that time and get sub 10, and I got a sub 10 average at that competition, and it just got me straight back into 3x3. I just practiced loads from there.
Hey, that's a great story. I feel like a lot of people they have those sort of breaks, and it takes a definitely certain person to get back into it, and to definitely get back into it with like more seriousness than they did when they first started.
Yeah, because when I was in my first couple of years, I was like maining the kiddie events like 2x2 skewed pyramids.
Do you still do them?
No, but it's quite funny because my practice I did in 2015, 2016 still holds up today. Like our podium in 2x2 pyramids and skew at great competitions, even though I haven't practiced for like 4 years.
That's pretty. I think that's pretty similar to Bill Wang and 2x2, because when he started cubing, he was like 2x2 was like wasn't all he did. He was more of a blinder back in the day when he started cubing, but he was really good at 2x2, and now he never practices, but he still gets like decent results in competition.
Yeah, like Doncaster Open, my last competition. I did 2x2 finals. I kind of messed up the last solve. I could have got like a PR average, and then it was straight into 3x3 finals. So obviously I was focused on that. I did warm up and then competed, and then I was pretty happy with my finals results. I got like 7.6 or something, and I was chatting with friends, and then awards happened, and I was waiting for my turn for 3x3 because I got second. And then 2x2 is announced, and I got a third, and I'm just like, what? Because I just don't expect myself to like podium and anything that isn't 3x3 at the moment.
I mean, I don't know. I've never really. The only event that I've competed in that's very scramble dependent is square one.
Yeah.
I just like that must be really interesting to just never really know what your position is like, because like you could easily mess up a scramble and there you go, there's your whole average. And
yeah, that's like, because I mained Pyraminx in 2015. That's like the main reason I stopped doing Pyraminx. It's just like, it's so frustrating. You just practice loads for competition, and then both rounds or whatever is just trash scrambles. There's nothing you can do about it.
You have to be like good, like warmed up and like in the zone, and get lucky and execute well. So it's like, it's one of those things. I think like Stanley Chappell made that argument as to why clock is actually the most difficult event to compete at the highest level.
Yeah.
Because it's like every pin can be a different type of sensitivity, and then you're nervous, and then scramble dependent. Like
I'd say the same for free blind. Like one turning error for free blind can mess it up. Super scramble dependent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, three blind, like every turn is the same, you know. Like
that's true. Yeah.
Assuming you have to keep that set up well, and if you're at the highest level, you do. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think definitely events like that are that take a lot of practice, and sometimes that practice not paying off. Like those are tough. It's not to say that stuff like, you know, vanilla events like 3x3 like one-handed aren't as hard, but there's definitely less of an argument there.
Like people always talk about 2x2 being the most scramble based event, but our George Scully, he got NR average on some like completely average scrambles recently. But I would definitely argue that it's either clock or free blind that are the most scramble dependent.
Yeah, I think that argument for 2x2 has definitely died down with the years. Just people are really
better
good.
algs, better finger tricks.
Like, there's this kid from the Northeast. He got third at Worlds, actually, Zayn Kanani.
Oh, yeah.
The 2x2 final scrambles were completely average. And this was verified by, you know, Rami. Who's not just my friend, but like a really good 2x2 solver. Many world records. It's completely average, and he pulls off a 1.22 average.
Yeah, but there was a Irish online competition a week or so back, which I was helping to co-host with a friend from Scotland, and he was in 2x2 finals, and we were doing like the whole head-to-head thing or whatever. And everybody else was getting like 1.5, 1.6. I think second place average was 159. And then he just bossed out like a 1.2, 1.3 average or something. It's absolutely ridiculous.
2x2 is one of those like crazy events where, you know, I think it's pretty just like, at least for me, it's just first nature to kind of like just downplay it and say that it's a bad event. Which I do say, 2x2 is a bad event, but you know, there's definitely people that are like talented and deserve credit.
Yeah, I have been tempted to get into it because I do like the whole idea of one-looking solves and stuff like that. Yeah, it does seem appealing, but then the algs also don't seem appealing.
That 7.303 average as well, so.
yeah, that's I guess that's my main goal right now. We'll just beat my NR and make
Does UK have step 7 average?
No, it's still 7:27.
So you're an hour holder.
Yeah.
Nice.
Still never lost a national record.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Is that the only one, or do you have a lot?
And I have 5.00 single.
All right.
So yeah, I haven't lost either of those. Wow, we've been rambling on for 46 minutes.
Wow.
Right, is there anything you wanna bring up before I wrap this up?
Not really. Just like a normal thing, I think.
Yeah, so
everything we've talked about is just a lot about cubing being one of those things where you really need that community, like making those connections with people around the world benefits you tremendously, not just in the hobby, but just like overall your life, like your outlook. You get to visit these crazy places, and it's great.
I've visited so many countries I never thought I would have gone to.
Definitely. If you're listening to this, if you're not a cuber, just pick up a cube. If you're a cuber, get other people to start cubing. Like,
yeah, it's a great thing to do in quarantine.
And there's cubing at home. Sign up for that.
Yeah, lots of online competitions popping up.
Yeah. Check the WCA website.
I probably won't get this podcast out in time for you to register for the ones this weekend, but next weekend, register for those. I'm sure there's plenty.
Yeah. And with a bit of shameless plugging, but it would really mean a lot to me if you could check out the Cubicle Academy page on thecubicle.com. It's at the bottom of the homepage. You can choose between 6 very qualified, very helpful people, including myself. All the rates and any questions that might want to be asked can be found on that page, as well as all contact info for the coaches. So yeah, this is a new project that debuted this week, and it would be great if you guys could help expand that.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. Also, don't forget to use code MILLS to get 5% off on thecubicle.com. And I also, Jason Alonso, I need you to check your emails, check your spam, whatnot, and just let me know you got it, so I don't need to keep chasing you up. But yeah, thanks Patrick for coming on the podcast. It's been great talking with you.
Thank you so much for having me, man. I hope you have great episodes to follow.
Yeah, right.
See you.
See you guys.